Hi, how are you? I'm Shari Hineri Elon, and welcome to Life Expressions. Today, my guest is the first female pilot of the Philippine Coast Guard. She was born and raised in Bacolod City to a nurse and a retired Philippine Navy and Coast Guard ensign. A product of a public school system, she graduated as salutatorian during her primary education and moved to La Consolacion College as an academic, student council, and performing arts scholar where she graduated again as class salutatorian. Recently, she was awarded as an outstanding alumni of LCC in the field of public service. She earned her bachelor's degree in computer science at the University of St. LaSalle. She was also an original member of Artians. Captain Christine Pauline Bergano-Diciano is a proud member of Coast Guard Officers Course Alpha Matatag class of 2001, the first class to receive female officers in the Philippine Coast Guard. She graduated on the upper percentile of her class and received the Leadership Award. She was top 3 of the Coast Guard Command and Staff Course and top 1 in the Coast Guard Station Commander's Course. In 2015, she became a student attaché and graduated at the esteemed World Maritime University in Malmo, Sweden, and with master's degree in maritime affairs, specializing in maritime education and training with organizational leadership, while simultaneously being elected as the student government secretary and the first Filipino and Asian vice president of the World Maritime University Women's Association. She made history as the first air station commander in Palawan under Oplan Matatag, a valuable initiative leading to the National Coast Watch system in the West. Her 21 years in Philippine Coast Guard service afforded her 90 awards, decorations, pins, badges, and 9 letters of commendation and 71 certificates and civilian commendations and plaques. In 2019, she became the youngest officer liberated to the rank of Commodore and recently passed the Civil Service Commission exam. Set to pursue her doctorate degree this year, she is the first, youngest, and only female officer to serve as commander of an aviation force in all of military and law enforcement agencies in the Philippines, earning her the coveted command pilot badge. She is just amazing, and I'm happy to say that she lives a well balanced life because Captain Christine Pauline Bergaño-Diciano is also happily married to Commander Euphraim Jason Diciano, and they have 4 children. Welcome, pride of Bacolod City, Captain Christine Pauline Bergaño-Diciano. Hi, Captain Diciano. How are you?
Hi, good day, Ma'am Chari. It's really, really nice to see you. I am really, really happy to be invited here at Life Expressions. I'm looking forward to more engagements with you. It's very nice to see you glowing and really um, happy with your craft. Thank you for inviting me.
It is my utmost pleasure, Captain Diciano. You are an inspiration. Reading your resume, I have just shortened this because you are so amazing. You're full of zest in life. You're full of accomplishments. At the same time, you stay so humble and so full of gratitude always. You're such an inspiring woman. And I'm so glad that you gave me this time and opportunity to interview you in Life Expressions. So, how are you? How's life?
By the way, Ma'am, before it's the honor is mine, really. Having you, we have growing. We have been looking at the way you have been an example in public service also and in news. So much of the empowerment that I have, I also got it from you. So
Wow.
thank you.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say, Captain Diciano. So, kamusta ka na? How are you? You're there in Manila,
So
right?
now, yeah, yes, I'm in Manila right now, ma'am. Taking the post as the commander of Coast Guard Aviation Force. I am handling 248 pilots, 9 officers, pilots, and crew. I also have invited on-the-job trainees for them to become the future of this organization. So, um, in all the facets of our work, We have been engaging in flight operations, in civil relations, community services. We also engage with our partners in law enforcement and military agencies such as the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, and of course, our partners here in the civilian side of aviation, which is the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, the OTS or the Office of Transport Security, and all other um, stakeholders in aviation.
Wow, that's a huge task. And I am pretty sure you are dispensing your duties with such responsibility and accountability. What's a day like for you, Captain?
I have always, every time I wake up, ma'am, I always remind myself that the PCG service that I have right now is a life work honored daily. So, of course, I always qualify myself by reading and training myself. I also engage my officers, non-officers, in all the responsibilities we have at hand. And I'm very, very much willing to extend beyond the traditional work that we have here in the aviation by doing community services. These are things that we need to embrace and infuse also within our operation so that we can have a glimpse of what's happening out there, what are the relevant and pressing issues in relation to our job.
Yes. And
So,
how did you prepare for this task, for this job? You have achieved so much. At the same time, you still continue to achieve more. But how did you prepare for this task?
of course, ma'am, I give my best in all the trainings that have been afforded to me over the years. As I always say, 21 years in public service already, ma'am. I say that we are setting suns already in terms of the hierarchy. But I always remind myself that the higher we get to the position, we need to bend like bamboo. We need to reach out for those who will follow through because I always believe that the success of a leadership and a management principle is that there is succession.
Yeah.
So the young bloods really are very, very smart and intelligent and very driven generation. So we just have to find their niche, hone them, empower them, continuously coach them. Sometimes it's also very taxing on our part because we deal with the strategic objectives of our organization. But we have to come to a place where we do not settle leaving our junior officers behind, but just empower them the way we have been empowered by our predecessors.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. And of course, it's a daily life work, honored and prayed for.
Yeah.
Uh, dako gid ma'am nga aspect ang prayers in all the things that I do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. How do you empower the junior officers and the people who work with you?
Yeah, I tell them you do not wait until you become. I tell them that every opportunity that we get, whether it's learning, it's interaction with our big brothers in the service, or just getting any best practice from any organization or stakeholder that we get to work, we embrace any opportunity for that because we grow.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I encourage them to move out from their comfort zone because it's only then we know that we are learning and we're trying to get some new ideas and knowledge.
Yes. You are now a leader in the Philippine Coast Guard, and many of the junior officers and even your peers in the service admire you for who you are and for what you do. What do you think led you to this career and position?
Um, for I have always been a servant leader, actually, ma'am. I always put diplomacy and the matriarchal instinct in me, the way I deal with things. Sabi ko nga, ma'am, I always tell that the world, there are so many good, the not so good in this world. So we can just be a little kinder, a little loving in the way we do our job. And I think that energy is being reciprocated also to me and my force.
Yeah.
Um, Over the years, my technique really, ma'am, is that I do not choose the job that's been given to me. I always give my best, even if it's multitasking or multi-burden for my part. Mind you, I had my fair share of experiences also in doing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations and other covert and overt flight missions, all at the expense of the milestones of my children and family.
Yeah.
But I always pray to God that if this is the mission that I have to take, then I have to take it with a big and humble heart. And what comes after that is that the enlightenment and the intelligence from my family also of accepting the job that I do, and the inspiration that has been throwing in for from other members of the organization as well. So the energy is just getting there, and we do the job happily, sincerely, and people get to appreciate it, and it comes back to the organization in many many ways that we can only imagine.
Yeah.
So yun ma'am, and I always go back to the people who has helped me along the way, and every time I make decisions, whether the consequences may be good or not so good, I take the consequences of my actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very brave of you. You have mentioned
Yes.
covert and overt flight missions. What
Mhm.
most difficult flight mission you've done so far?
Well, for the flight missions, it's always uh, the distant islands that we have in the Philippines. It's a very, very challenging terrain, and it's a very, very exciting platform of operations that I learn a lot every time we do flight missions there.
Yeah.
Um, we even that no, the silver lining of it all is that we still get to bring community services to our kababayans.
Mhm.
We still get to bring educational kits, hygiene kits, and welfare goods to
Mhm.
the children and communities of these far-flung areas.
Yeah.
And also in operations on search and rescue, and of course, this COVID-19 um, flight missions were really, really challenging.
Yeah.
We did our historical more than 20 hours of flight missions from Manila to Zamboanga, then Tawi-Tawi via Hulo, and then back to Zamboanga, Cebu, and Cebu to Manila. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was a leg that was very, very memorable to me. That every time our kababayans would just smile and express their gratitude to things that we do with a good heart. That's the fulfillment I get from this service. So
Yeah.
we're very grateful.
Yeah. You've mentioned that that's the fulfillment you get from that service, reaching out
Mm,
and giving humanitarian service. Would you say
mm.
that's also one of the most rewarding experiences that you continue to experience in the Philippine Coast
Yes,
Guard?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Chari, it is very much fulfilling. And I think this is the purpose of every Coast Guard here in the Philippines. Talagang we are indoctrinated and we have been given example by no less than our commandant to
Mhm.
be the bastion of hope for the Filipino people, and the source of national pride is always reminding us to be like that.
Mhm.
So getting this kind of example from a good leader, we also do it in our own respective areas of responsibilities. And the Filipinos are very much helpful in terms of disaster and humanitarian and services. And we really felt it during COVID-19, our fight and solutions during typhoons Odette also.
Yeah.
Um, Filipinos are very much willing, and not just here in the Philippines, but also abroad, have been extending their help to the rest of the kababayans.
Yeah.
So we are very grateful. Mm.
What are the sacrifices that you have made over the years?
Oh, as to the sacrifice, ma'am, of course, the biggest one is missing out the milestones of my children, not being there with my husband most of the time because it's also the public service
Mhm.
in the public service. And I think some of the things that I get to enjoy as a civilian, I don't get to enjoy that much already
Mhm.
because of the service that I do.
Mhm.
So before, ma'am, if I may share,
Yes,
I
please.
still remember I get to enjoy singing and dancing In my free time, I get to watch concerts and performing arts numbers here. But with the demand of the work right now and the work that we need to do at an instant, I shove them from a while. But I know that I'll try to get back on those activities also every now and then.
Yeah.
I localize it though. We created a band here at the
Mhm.
Aviation Force,
That's nice.
and it's so surprising that our officers and non-officers are also talented, so they're able to have a band.
That's great. I think I saw one of your posts in Facebook that you were singing, and oh, yes, you have a band because you are a very talented singer and dancer at that. So, a member of Himig in LCC and Arshans in LaSalle, and you became a performing scholar too in La Consolacion College.
Yes, ma'am. And I owe it much to my parents, no? My tatay has always been my voice coach, but it's always my mother who would believe in the beauty of my dreams, even if I doubt myself at times. She would always push me,
Mhm.
and she would always prepare my costumes,
Yes.
despite our meager resources, I really felt that my nanay or my mother is a prime source of all this encouragement and empowerment within me.
Yes.
So though she passed last year, most of the services really that I do,
Mhm.
I always give tribute to her. So
Yeah.
that's it.
And Captain Diciano, earlier you mentioned about the people that's under you and the huge task that you have to
Mhm.
do on a daily basis. Where do you get your energy?
Oh, as to the energy, ma'am, of course, it has to be to start here and here. Very positive mindset that you can get things done. I always teach them the power of your dreams, like self-efficacy.
Yeah.
First, I need to believe that I can do something fruitful and meaningful to my force. And then I translate it to my staff, and then they get the job done with my guidance. I know that it's not easy managing 200 plus personnel, but what I do is that I allot my lunches. Like for example, on a Monday, I do it with my staff
Mhm.
to set the direction for the week.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, I do it with the fixed wing pilots and crew. On a Wednesday, I do it with the rotary wing or the helicopter pilots and crew. On Thursday, it would be my leading petty officers, and on Fridays, it would be the most junior or the strikers in my force. So there are things that I always value the vantage point of my people, whether they are officers, they are leading personnel, or the most junior, because all of them has something to offer with the way I process and give direction as a leader and manager. So that's what I am, ma'am. So I always try my best to get to know them or sometimes surprise them during their duty details on a wee hour in the morning,
Yeah.
bringing in coffee or something, and just talk about life, talk about their interests, and talk about things that make them happy.
Yeah. You are in the public eye, and for sure you're personal too. What do you tell them? What is the most important value that they should observe in the service?
It is always, as you have observed, ma'am, it's always humility and gratitude. Sometimes we would want to be the best, but I always remind them that, you know, being the best, you do not forget to be simply good. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. And then when things sometimes do not go the way we prepare and work for it, you
Mhm.
just keep your faith, because things you do not have are better strokes of luck. Sometimes God is saying to you or tapping you on the back that this might not be good for you. So just take a back, prepare yourself once more, and just be grateful of the blessings that will be unfolded before your eyes. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why you're so blessed and you're so successful because you're humble, you're full of gratitude. At the same time, you never forget to pray and you honor him for what he has done to your life.
Yes.
Yes. And now you are in another challenge, not just in your career, but in your
Mhm.
personal life as well. I have seen that you are trying to be more physically active. Did you set a goal for yourself for your physical fitness?
Mhm. Ma'am, to be honest, living 41 years of my life already, I I know that I need to be very, very healthy and well because this is of course helping me with the job that I do. But
Yeah.
of course, I would also want to prepare myself that being with the children is very, very active. I need to keep up with their energy, with the way they think about things, and the way they do things. So I need to be very, very active and healthy. And by
Yeah.
God's grace, I have my able staff helping me with this wellness and health routine. It's not so um, it's not so stringent, but it's something that anybody can just uh, do it in a daily basis. So it's just cardio, it's just core,
Mhm.
and then eating right and having a good lifestyle. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, so uh, that's it. Mm-mm.
So
So yeah.
where are you now? Did you set a goal for yourself? Where are you now in that state?
Well, I still have to lose about 5 or 10 kilograms at most, but I feel great about the 14 kilograms that I lost already.
And
So
you look absolutely great.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
What is your ultimate aspiration, Captain Diciano?
Hmm. For me to be able to be stronger in the purpose that I have right now, and I think that is to deliver the services that I can the rest of my life. And because of this service, I get to influence my children to become valuable citizens of the country also.
Yeah.
One way or the other, we have talks already of them continuing on the service that we have. But I don't pressure them. I just tell them to be good citizens and just find ways and means to help this country because the Philippines is really a very, very promising nation. It has so many potentials at hand, and there's so many good things that is yet to happen, not just in our service, but on national development and its placement in the international maritime community.
Yes. And I am glad to say that Bacoleños are really proud of you because you have not just led uh, the Philippine Coast Guard in your responsibility as commander, but you are also the first female pilot. How did that happen?
Um, Actually, ma'am, during that time, I was the first Coast Guard officer to be given an order to go aboard ship or sa barko, sa vessels, Coast Guard
Yes.
vessels. But between clearing that order versus the demand for me to stay one more year for a course, for a CGMC course to be a tactical officer, I chose the latter. I begged off my shipboard duties, but continued on to serve as tactical officer and trainer for the non-officers of the Coast Guard during that time.
Mhm.
And as I have said earlier, things you do not have sometimes. Well, I aspire to be the first female in the vessel, but it was not given to me that time because I had other uh, priority, which is training these non-officers. Then a year after, the opportunity to aviation was given. So I grabbed that opportunity, and as they say, the rest was history. But of course, I did all the sacrifice. It's really hard work. It's
Yes.
really having the most um, uh, challenging time, but I also fought it out with a lot of discipline and patience. So I made it to this point, and I'm very, very grateful also to the leaders who have set forth a way for me to take on the position, and the commandant for trusting me as the first female and youngest officer to command an aviation force in the country. It
Wow.
really set a different tone to women in the law enforcement, not just in the Philippine Coast Guard. And another milestone, ma'am, that I'm very, very happy to share is that we have included during my time as Gender and Development Commander the inclusion of hijab in the Philippine Coast Guard of uh, uniform manual. And this was recognized by the United Nations Human Rights Commission. And it's a very, very great stride for the Philippines and a law enforcer at that to have hijab in their uniform manual.
Yeah, that is just awesome.
Mhm.
Without a
Mhm.
doubt, you are excelling in the career that you have chosen for yourself. What advice would you like to give to women who would like to succeed in their respective careers as well?
Thank you, ma'am. Again, it is always good to take on any responsibility with an open heart and mind. We qualify ourselves. We continue to pursue what makes us happy. We continuously pray for guidance and mercy. And in all the things that we do, we just be grateful and humble about everything.
That's
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Captain Christine Pauline Bergano-Diciano. I am so proud of you and you continue to inspire me. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are listening to this podcast are also inspired by your words and, of course, with your actions in the force. So may the force be with you all throughout in the Philippine Coast Guard.
Salute to you also, Ma'am Chari, and may God bless you in all the valuable works that you do. Congratulations to Life Expressions, and I'm really, really praying to see you soon. God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you so much for listening. And again, thank you so much, Captain Diciano, for this time and for sharing your life experiences and your wisdom. Well, I would like to say that choose today to take control of your life and make decisions that shape the destiny you desire. As what Captain Diciano says, you've got to have the right mindset and the right heart to succeed and to do the right things day in and day out. Just like her, success is simple. Just do the right things and everything will just follow and you will experience the best that life has to offer. Once again, thank you so much, Captain Christine Pauline Diciano. I'm Chari Hineri Elon, inviting you to join me here on Life Expressions to live a purpose-driven life. Please don't forget to follow Life Expressions and share this episode on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and whatever podcast available to you. Thank you once again. Till next time, here on Life Expressions.